So I've actually debated on making this video ever since I saw that this release was going to come out. This was one of my favorite movies growing up. I think it's one of the movies that I watched the most ever in my lifetime, right up there with The Wizard of Oz, because I love both of these movies. And when I found out about all of like the behind the scenes drama and last minute tinkering that was going on with the project, probably a good almost 10 years after the fact, I was one of those people that was very curious as to how we would end up finding the lost footage, if at all. And I wasn't one of those hardcore people that was going to donate money to restore the magic. I did sign one of the director's cut petitions, but ultimately, I decided that I was going to leave it to the people who had the power to do anything about it, and I would update myself every once in a while when I thought that I hadn't thought about it for a while. And so, much to my surprise, I looked up things like 2 months ago, and I found not only were we getting a Blu-ray release of this movie, but also a director's cut or work print had been leaked earlier that year after being passed around privately to some fans. And that I definitely wanted to see. I was seeking out the work print, even though Brit said not to, but I did. I found it, I watched it, and honestly, I was impressed. But then, hearing that this Blu-ray was going to come out and it was going to have a bunch of deleted material, I thought that I needed to get this ASAP. So I pre-ordered it and it came yesterday. And here we are. We're gonna talk about Thomas and the Magic Railroad 20 years after the fact. Now, I know a lot of people are suckers for like what the discs look like. Here's that. I saved the sticker that was on the packaging and put it in there too, just so we can forever remember that it was the first time on Blu-ray. Wow. But I read somewhere else online that even like Shout Factory treated this like a multiple Academy Award winner because honestly, we've been done spoiled with the extras that are on this. There's a two-part interview with Britt Alcroft, there's an interview with Alec Baldwin, Mara Wilson, Didi Khan, and Hummy Man, who was the composer of the score. The behind the scenes reel, like the 12-minute reel that was on the German DVD only, as well as an hour's worth of deleted material. And what's really cool about that stuff is that they cut it in with the finished cut, the final cut, so you could easily tell where it would fall in the story, and that would really help with people who wanted to do like a full like director's cut reconstruction. I think that helps them out a whole bunch. This is actually one of the earliest memories I have of watching a movie, that and the Powerpuff Girls movie. But Thomas was one of my childhood staples growing up. I'm low-key still like a like Thomas fan. I will check in every once in a while just to see how the franchise is doing, and lately it's kind of. So I got this last night. I watched the movie and then I watched the special features, and I'll have to say the movie is not great. The movie is not good, but it is enjoyable for a Thomas fan, even though it is so different. A lot of people call it non-canonical, which I definitely can agree with. There's a lot of it that just does not add up to the previously established lore of the Thomas franchise, and I can somewhat forgive it for that. As an adaptation, it is not good, but as like a standalone own thing, it's okay, even if it does sometimes come off as a little too complicated. The final cut, as we got it, is kind of a mess. It's scenes that kind of just go from one place to another, even though there is some sort of sense of cohesion, but it's very minimal, very lazy. In the final cut that we got, Lily is kind of just a goody two shoes, just kind of going along. She's the audience surrogate. She's not really all that interesting. Burnett Stone is just sad. Billy Two Feathers, nothing. Although the final cut does do a very good job of balancing the Sodor scenes and the Shining Time characters scenes. The train to human ratio in the final cut is pretty even, and honestly for that I do appreciate it. It felt so much longer and less balanced when I was little, but upon further watch it's pretty even. Obviously the models are very good. Usually the human special effects are what kind of go off the rails, so to speak, for me. But even then, they're kind of just like oddly charming. The movie itself is just oddly charming. There's just something about it that like I couldn't look away. It was something beyond nostalgia. It was something else. I don't know. I really do think it's a shame that this movie was cut to pieces right before its big mainstream release, because a lot of the deleted material is pretty good. Some of it I understand why it was taken out. Some of it's kind of heavy-handed, like writing wise. Some of it is just very repetitious. If you would get away, if I took a shot for every time that they said Jesus Christ. If I took a shot for every time they said Lost Engine or PT Boomer in the deleted scenes, I would be sloshed by the end of the hour. But there is a lot of good tension that was lost on the cutting room floor as a result of these test screenings. Like, I was not expecting PT Boomer to get physically aggressive with Burnett. It's not like they're out there, like, going and punching each other, but he will, like, kick Burnett's door, or he'll, like, take something out of the flatbed of his pickup and throw it on the ground. He's trying to be physically intimidating, which I understand would be scary for some young kids, but honestly, young kids deserve some kind of danger. But they have to know that this person will not actually hurt them or any of the people that they care about in real life, which Britt Allcroft did a very good job of establishing in this deleted material. Lily is also a lot less of a nobody in the deleted material. There's a scene where she's on the train right about to get to Shining Time, and she laments the fact that she wishes she were back at home. She doesn't think her grandpa is the friendliest person. He's just kind of sad. She recognizes this. She also wishes that she would remain an only child. She also gets confrontational with Burnett a few times. There's one scene where Burnett hears a dog barking. It's Mutt. He's just there for some reason. And then Lily asks him if the song that he was listening to the night before was one that he and his recently dead wife Tasha would listen to, and he said, "I don't remember." And she said, "Yes, you do." And then runs away, and that's why she meets Patch later. So it's really nice to see her frustration with Burnett's depression and his loneliness. I think that makes her, while subtle, more of a three-dimensional character. I will also say, there is one scene from the work print and the deleted materials special feature that I really wish had made the final cut, because it is just so telling. It's just beautifully atmospheric, and just the wires that don't quite connect are just amazing. I'll show part of it here, and hopefully Sony doesn't flag me. So
always knew someday you'd come along. We'll make a twosome that just can't go wrong.
That was Grandma's favorite song.
He loves,
yes, it was.
And she loves, and they love, so won't you love me?
This scene is very important to both Lily and Burnett's character arcs, because it shows that while they desperately want to connect with one another, Burnett's unwillingness to unpack anything in his life and Lily's willingness to try to help her grandpa are just too much for either character to bear. And Lily's just sigh of like, okay, I guess I'll go to bed, is just super telling. I don't know. And it just makes the ending, like where Lady restores the Magic Railroad, so much more satisfying. I think though with this deleted material, had Brit released the movie as she wanted it to be, and like not the work print version, but like adding cramming everything in there, yes, the movie would have been maybe closer to a PG. It would have been closer to maybe 100 minutes long, but it would have been incredibly lopsided. The human characters would have dominated way too much of the film, and even though that's where most of the more interesting material comes from, it also would have made the act one of this story almost unbearably long. Even in the final cut that we get, it takes Lily about 50 minutes to get to Sodor, and even after that, there's only like half an hour of movie left. And so with all that deleted material, it would have taken even longer for her to get there, but we would have had some more interesting character relationships and dynamics, kind of what Brit wanted. In one of the featurettes, Brit says that she thought that she was making a family movie and not a kids movie, and that's why she wanted to go push the themes and some of the dynamics in a darker direction, which I very much admire. But that's not what the public wanted. The public wanted a safe kids film, and that's what they got. And they hated it because of it. I would definitely count this release as a win for we Thomas folk out there. We never thought we would see it, and here we are, 20 years later, seeing it. Yeah. So, this is Dustin signing off, but only for now.